Hey, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent. If there's an echo, it's because I'm in my new apartment. So yeah, thanks for the congratulations. Thanks for the love, my friends, my family. But today we're going to be talking about some drama in Albion Online. This is kind of a little bit of a different video, I know, but Albion is a social economy guild versus guild game. There's a huge metagame involved with Albion Online, so consider this part of my review. This isn't quite completely a news article. This isn't just like your average drama video where I'm just going to spit the random bullet point facts at you, which maybe should be the case. However, consider this part of the review where I'm actually going to be reviewing the social mechanics of Albion Online and some issues that are actually occurring within the game. So if you are a big guild, or if you're a very social player who wants to join a guild and have an impact or an influence in an influential guild, or maybe, you're a big guild and you want to have a charter or like a section of your guild join Albion, you might want to listen to what is happening currently, or you can really just go on the forums or click the description. Tons of citations of this current incident that you can just clearly see that we can talk about. So what is happening here? There's a guild that reached out to me called the Iron Bank, and I did get on Discord with these guys, and they appreciated my videos, or I guess they appreciated my viewpoint, my harshness on Albion Online. However, I'm not here to just create drama for Albion Online, so I'm actually going to be critiquing this entire situation here. So Iron Bank here is self-proclaimed a pay-to-win guild. Their alliance inside the game is called pay-to-win. And the Iron Bank, the whole concept is to just make a lot of money, to use the pay-to-win mechanics as part of the game and gamify that game, if that makes sense. A lot of people will just completely turn away from pay-to-win and just say, oh, it's shit, it's garbage. But there's actually a game to be played with the pay-to-win mechanics. There's actually like this economy, this adventure/investment sort of gameplay that you can only get with that initial sort of necessary evil, which is tragic. But anyways, the Iron Bank was well aware of the game they were playing. Quite aware. I mean, their alliance was called Pay-to-Win, so let's all admit it. They are well aware of how pay-to-win the game is and how influential real money transactions are, and the investment of gold and the transference of that into silver, and just using that power, swinging that around to create more power and influencing the game as a whole, influencing the entire economy. That was the point of the guild. I needed to make this very clear here. Yet this guild, who essentially is a pay-to-win guild, is being contested by almost no other guilds. Now, apparently it's come to surface that on the forums that many other guilds could have the money to actually do what this Chinese gold seller actually did. I don't know, but that's a little bit over my head. I'm kind of a lame person when it comes to this, but I am going to recite my experience with this. Essentially, the Iron Bank was attacked by a gold seller, and it has been known, it is known, that this was a gold seller. The account name was literally the website. You can actually click the description and see that they do sell Albion Online stuffs now. And they were attacked their plots. So what I mean by attacked is not in the usual Albion sense, or maybe in a usual sense. Nobody sieged their castle or anything like that, but in Albion Online, you can actually purchase plots, place different buildings on these plots, and essentially it allows for passive income. You need a large initial investment, and then from there, as long as you're not stupid, you're going to be making some money, okay? A lot of money passively. You know who really loves passive income and would rather not get caught botting? Oh yeah, gold sellers. So, gold sellers have a ton of money. Why do they have a ton of money? Because they know they're going to make that money back and then some by selling the silver. And so they have essentially infinite, potentially, when the game gets rolling, infinite amounts of monies. And this is a big problem for a game that has an economy. You don't want your economy permeated or bleeding out into the real world. However, Sandbox Interactive built that into the game. Not only, see, this is the issue. Not only did they build it into the game with real money transactions that you purchase from Sandbox Interactive in order to actually get gold in the game, which you can turn into silver, which then you could do fucking all sorts of things that, I don't know why people say it's not pay to win, but dude, you could do so much with a massive amount of silver. Especially when you have entire guilds like the Iron Bank trying to do stuff with it. But then again, that's the game. Okay, we are aware of what the game is. We've already done videos on that. At a guild level, a guild that has tons of money is going to be making some bank. But there's also some gameplay to that, so we're not really criticizing that here. What we're criticizing is all of the little design decisions in Sandbox Interactive that actually incentivize gold sellers. You see, because they added the real money transaction system, the developers, incentivized to incentivize players to buy the real money transactions. So everything in the game will use a little bit more silver than it should. Or maybe there's some systems in place that use silver that just shouldn't use silver. Like, why is it a thing that I can't go around and find, you know, like adolescent or breeding horses out in the wilderness? Why can't I tame horses? Why is it that I have to purchase the horses? Why do I have to use silver for that? Why is silver used for so much, and why so much silver? So these are the things that need to be thought of. All these little mechanics in the game really incentivize a tremendous amount of silver, which incentivizes a tremendous amount of real money transaction to get the gold, which turns into silver. And I know to people who don't actually play Albion, it's complicated, but to people who are interested in Albion, like the guilds who love, you know, playing the economy, or these build guilds that want to go into the game, you guys are going to start getting a little hint of what's happening here. So since the game is so heavily influenced by gold and silver and, you know, just economy-based gameplay, even though you can actually purchase it from Sandbox Interactive directly, it's always going to be cheaper and potentially easier to get it from gold sellers. But that sucks for the entire economy. Even if you might come out on top, even if you can say that, well, the game's not pay to win, it's just pay to progress, then what's the problem with buying from gold sellers? Well, the problem is that it actually physically does damage guilds. Even this guild, the Iron Bank, who actually did defend. They defended from this Chinese gold selling attack. It still cost them a tremendous amount of money. Much more than maybe it should have. It cost them a lot of effort and time and, of course, resources to defend from this hostile takeover for the plots. Where in normal bids, it would never get this high. But with a Chinese gold selling company, of course, they have so much money that it literally breaks the game. The game is so pay to win that it literally ruins the pay to win. Like, have you ever heard of that? What the fuckles? Unbelievable. So that's basically what happened. Now, again, the Iron Bank, they did defend from this attack. The guild itself is not destroyed, but all the leadership from seeing this have realized that the game at the meta level that they are playing is uncontestable. They cannot compete over long-term, potentially, with gold sellers. Now, I don't know if that's the truth, but that is what's happening. The Iron Bank, one of the biggest, one of the most wealthiest, if not the wealthiest guild in the game, the leadership is quitting, and they are no longer going to be continuing to play the game because of the situation where a singular or maybe just a few people inside a small, pay-to-win gold-selling guild was able to out-pay to win basically a guild that's all they did. They didn't play the game in almost any other way. They just wanted money, and they barely survived. And the way the game works in Albion Online, you can constantly be attacked, you can constantly be focus targeted, and it can diminish a lot of your resources. It can really hurt you. And so it might be possible for gold sellers, if they wanted to, which they could if they wanted to make a lot of money, which they will, because gold selling, if it's not taken care of by Sandbox Interactive, they could potentially, if they had infinite money, which kind of in a way they do, they could just take over the world. They could take over the world, and they could almost ruin the game for everybody. But now, how does that trickle down? How does that trickle down to the average player? Let's say you're not a part of a giant, massive guild that plays on the highest level of, of economics. Basically, it's going to make it to where every little silver, every silver basically is worth less because they're kind of bleeding out of the economy. Silver is kind of being devalued because it's being turned into real cash by gold sellers, and well, it's silver sellers now in Albion Online. And basically, it's going to make the game so grindy and so worthless that it's just not worth your time, it's not worth your effort, and it's not going to be very fun. So a lot of people would say that initially. Albion Online launch day, they saw my streams, they saw the videos. This game's boring. I don't want to play this game. But now let's make that 10-fold or 20 or just more and more and more, and that's kind of what's happening. However, the Albion Online developers, they don't have the quality of life improvements that are just required for a game like this. Very simple things that allow you to do things a little bit faster, navigate menus a little bit quicker. Sure, fine, whatever. All the way from that, all the way to incredibly game-breaking things that are necessary to stop the incentivization of real money transactions. However, the issue is that Sandbox Interactive is obviously making a ton of money from these initial investments because it takes an investment to make some money from it. So they're just incentivized to make most mechanics and add new mechanics that incentivize players to spend silver. And they might color it and code it as like, oh, it's there as a silver sink because we need to balance the economy. But in the end, they have real money transactions in the game built in that influence gameplay at a guild level. And so from that, I personally cannot trust the game. And from the fact that they have not immediately, I'm talking about before launch, been able to safeguard and add mechanics that make it to where the income is not almost completely passive, entirely just, you know, basically AFK worthy. It literally is, though. It really is passive income. They need to add way more things that need to make the gameplay way more active or, you know, adjustable. And it's too easy for somebody to just spam money and then from there make money with the game if you are a gold seller. So gold sellers in particular actually really want this game. They really want to ruin the game. But at the same time, I am not going to excuse the Iron Bank because they are quite aware the game is pay to win. And instead of targeting and attacking the pay to win mechanics, they played with it. And they are kind of part of the problem. They and many other big guilds and many players who, like, okay, maybe half the players are some bullshit fraction. I don't know. It's all made up, right? Some players say the game's not pay to win because they haven't gotten to that level. And the other half say it is pay to win, obviously, but that's a necessary evil for us to play the game the way we want to. But the thing is when you have the real money transactions at all in a game, it opens the doors to this. And from there, it's a very difficult balancing act, I'm fucking sure. But a game like Albion, with real money transactions, with the developers incentivized to create more mechanics for real money transactions, man, it's just not a good time for anybody. So that's why people buy gold from gold sellers. That's why gold sellers want to play the game. And that's why guilds like the Iron Bank are mad. So, but you were quite aware of the game you were playing. We all saw this coming, or I did. Though nobody really watches my videos because I'm just a toxic fuck, right? Anyways, so Iron Bank, to you, I say, I'm sorry, GG. Leadership is leaving. It is actually a tragedy. I wish the game wasn't pay to win, but still. I do want to keep in mind, and I want you guys to keep in mind, that even though the game's pay to win and you guys really don't like that, there is still a game to be played there. And the players and how they're playing officially, legitimately, inside the game, with their real money transactions, officially from Sandbox Interactive, from the Founders Packs, if they want to play that game, they should be allowed to. I'm not saying it shouldn't be in the game, because obviously people like it. So that's fine. Personally, I think it's distasteful, but what does suck is when everyone's playing their game officially, you know, in an official sense, and then someone comes along and then starts breaking the economy as a whole, and then starts interacting with these guilds with illegitimate money, then it starts to get kind of fucky, doesn't it? So that's all I can really say, guys. That's all I can really relate and say. And I did have a Discord call with the guild. They did try to they were a little bit poetic. And if you actually look at some of the citation of the forum post, it does seem quite poetic. But in the end, I don't think you should feel too sorry for this guild. In my opinion, obviously it sucks. But in the end, Sandbox Interactive could have responded so much better. But actually, I don't want to talk about that. I just want to talk about the game. Its innate mechanics in that basically they don't exist. A lot of checks and balances that should be there, a lot of quality of life things that should improve the gameplay for all real players and hinder fake players, essentially gold sellers. They don't exist. You know, the game should probably not have actually launched. And it kind of sucks, and I want this video to really focus on that fact. So yeah, I told you to the drama, okay? Iron Bank was attacked by gold sellers. They defended, but it cost them a lot of money. And then a whole fallout of drama ensued that the community is attacking the Iron Bank, and the community at the same time is attacking Sandbox Interactive. And of course, everybody's attacking gold sellers. But in the end, everybody needs to be looked at, and everybody should have sort of a fault to play here. Because you all are aware of the game you're playing. You're all aware of the doors that have been opened. And if you're not willing to admit it, then you guys deserve the game you're playing. Anyways, I'm going to continue playing because I'm quite aware, and I play the game in my own way, and hopefully you do too, but it does suck for the people who play the game in their own way that this directly impacts, which is, I think, going to be the target demographic of Albion Online. Big guilds that want to make a lot of money, that want to play the economy, that want to play what makes Albion Online special. Yeah, well, gold sellers are going to ruin it. And if nothing changes to deter gold sellers, raw, like in terms of the physical gameplay, we need more mechanics, checks, and balances, not just banning accounts. It's simply not enough. They're going to have infinite accounts and infinite money. Then the game will be ruined in maybe 6 months. At least that was the quote from Iron Bank. And I agree with that. However, yeah, that's the game that we all bought into, invested into, and have spent our time and money in. So I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings on this. I think I relayed everything that I could. However, just keep in mind that this was pretty biased and more so of a review of the mechanics versus me just relaying the true drama of everything. If you guys want to know all of that, I'm sure somebody else will make a video on it, and I'm sure somebody else, or I don't know, the forums or whatever, can tell you more. So please go click the links in the description below. You guys can read about that. It's kind of a fun little thing, but in the end, it all seems biased on every single second, every single word, every single sentence. It's just, I don't know, everybody has their own opinions, so I would love to know yours. All right, that's all. Thanks for watching, guys. Is Albion Online worth playing? I think you should probably give it a little bit more time to see where the game heads out. That's all I can say, guys. See you in the next one.